Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United.
Remember the comment he made?
I thought they got some bar to these.
Run Ryan.
Right. And here's the thing, you have players out there.
I think the fellas will take it more serious.
What grade?
That one had to go.
Yes, because at the end of the day, right now, Manchester United are
Good night, and welcome to All in All United. Let me show a proper layout, right? Guys, another tough day at the office. Disappointing result. I think that was the first game at home in the Premier League in the last 20 games we would have lost. And the thing about it is the same team that would have beaten us then. At least before the run started, is the same team that beat us again today, and I know we were getting to the game, but I know we had a real strong start. It petered out, but at the end of the day, another tough day at the office, right? So, you start with Simeon, you could touch on anything. What's the latest? How's your feelings? Let me start it.
I mean, I'm hurt, but I'm not shocked or surprised. I mean, the team has been falling apart. The whole club has been falling apart for a bit, and today it started to spill out more and more on the field. I mean, certain things that we thought would be fixed by now are obviously not fixed and are going backwards. I mean, I missed the game, and I heard a lot of comments. I went back and I watched the game, and I see some things that look so familiar. I mean, we used to starting strong. We used to start strong the first 25, 15 minutes, coming out and looking good, not scoring, and then getting a sucker punch. And Kareem, I talked to Kareem, and he was like, "Man, we look good." I'm like, "Yeah, but we didn't score." I mean, we always see this. This is a pattern of what we do, And when they score, we don't react well enough, and we lose. I mean, if you look back to, I went back to Ragnick because I was trying to see where it started. And even 2 years ago, Ragnick 2 years ago said, this team starts well, and then, the mentality, and then they don't finish, and then what's the word he used? This team doesn't play well together. We don't defend as a team properly. And all the goals you see is, each person, each individual could do well, but together, knowing where their man is, I mean, we just can't defend properly, and if we can't score, we're gonna lose. I mean, it's the same thing again, So I don't know who that. Go ahead, Lion.
Yeah. And again, as we see, we have a real esteemed panel tonight, and I know we'll get some real deep insights, and I know hopefully, some confidence that hopefully Tana could turn this around. Lion?
Well, I just think that the club just not in alignment, right? Ten Hag came, things look a little different, but he just papering over the cracks, right? Because now, or every season or every new manager we get, the background does spill onto the field. And I don't think it would change until we change these owners, because it's the same thing happening over again. Fans will come and say, okay, sack Ten Hag. But then you bring in somebody else, and what's going to happen? The same thing all over again. Right? And it looking like how it was looking at Ole days when it was coming to the end. Right? But I don't think he would come to an end right now. I think he would rejuvenate the team, but the toxic behavior of the owners will always be there. It's not going anywhere until they leave, because we need a lift, but we're not getting it. All right, we weren't. I don't think we were prepared for the season. The preseason wasn't good. All right, we get in players late. Even though they say we bring Mount early, yeah, but Mount wasn't it. Mount wasn't the player we were looking for, the X factor. All right, bringing Amrabat late, Amrabat injured. Hoyland back injury. Down to the keeper and all, who we not playing, he had an injury too. So we weren't prepared for the season. I saw what Ten Hag was trying to do today. Was like some of the fellas not up for it. Either they're not mentally there or something, or if this whole Sancho, Greenwood, Anthony thing affecting the team. But some fellas not looking fit, some fellas not looking interested. So
and I could agree with you. Definitely. I guess the feeling or the aura or the presence around the team at the moment is one that we so unfortunately familiar with now.
yeah.
And you're feeling, you get kind of feeling that kind of energy from the team. JP?
Yeah, well, good night.
Good night.
I feel like Mark said everything I wanted to say there, because my whole thing is we could keep analyzing game after game. What is the problem with the team? What happening? Because is a wash, rinse, recycle, repeat process that taking place with this club. It happening over and over since Fergie leave. This is the cycle that is taking place with this club. A manager getting back to the first season, he getting to bring in players, marquee signings. We're doing well. We're looking like a team that can compete. And then second season, the wheels start to fall off. We're not getting the support. We bring in one player early. Everybody else come late. They come injured. It wasn't the timing. The preseason preparation wasn't in place as it should have been. We didn't have the squad together at the time when we needed them. So there's a lot happening. And apart from that now, Ten Hag have to deal with players and their disciplinary issues as well. So you have a player like Sancho who won't do nothing to warrant that kind of behavior in the first place that he wants to get on with. Coming out against a manager. You are nothing. You ain't do nothing in your career to begin on like that. Right? Everybody know the story with Roy Keane and how Roy Keane leave this club. And look at who Roy Keane is and was as a player for Manchester United.
Yeah.
So Jadon Sancho can't come wrong this club in that way. He trying to do it and just create more problems on top of the problems that we have. And if he just hush his mouth, look what's going on with Anthony.
Yeah,
He would have
exactly.
probably been the player starting today.
Yeah.
So I think this Ten Hag, people ready to come down on Ten Hag. I looking at the posts in different groups where people are talking about Ten Hag do this wrong. And yeah, it have things to do wrong, and there are things that I question today about the decisions that he made and not reacting quickly enough to the changes that deserve to be made. But you cannot put it on Ten Hag alone, because look at how much happening around him. He holding a fire hydrant in a building that totally
extinguisher. No, extinguisher. Yeah, but 10-point extinguisher. Yeah.
Yeah. In a building that totally engulfs in flames. That is what the Ten Hag situation is right.
Agreed. Yeah, Phil?
Well, I guess the first question I gotta ask you guys, how are you doing? 'Cause I know Nika asked you guys that, so I want to know, how are you guys doing? I think that should be the first question that the host should always ask. How are you doing, Simeon? How are you doing, Lion? How are you doing, JP?
Yeah.
And how are you doing, Phil? That's what you should ask.
Yeah, no, because if you ask that, I get so numb.
Yeah.
Honestly, I am getting so numb to United and these results that the feeling like there are much feelings again. So
I can read two things I came across online after the game. and this was Manchester United have lost 3 of their opening 5 games of a Premier League season for the first time. 3 out of 5. And then the next one I came across was Marcus Rashford has played with Cristiano Ronaldo, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Edison Cavani, Harry Kane, and Wayne Rooney. And still, after 9 seasons, he has not learned that as a winger, you have to create for your striker. This is the star boy that is supposed to be considered for the Ballon d'Or. And the last quote in this big quote was the most overrated and overhyped player in the Premier League. Um, the last part of that was had me thinking, but I'll express my thoughts later on in the program when we touch on Marcus Rashford. A lot of
Alright.
a lot of things you realize because before I go on my little mini rant, I don't think this is the follow up that we expected from last season, right? Don't get me wrong, we overachieved last season, but we saw that there was some paper over the cracks in this team from last season, and we needed to fix those cracks, right? As Lion said, Mount, as much as people claim that Ten Hag wanted Mount was never the final answer. I don't even think Mount was the first answer.
It was even the initial answer. Exactly.
Correct, right? Um, I think we saw the likes of Rafael Varane not being able to play a full season last season. Why was that not addressed?
Exactly.
Only the board and Ten Hag and the other guys would know, right? My thing about Amrabat wanting to come to us since June, yeah, you didn't get him in until the last day of the transfer window. Why? Because we're pussyfooting over what, an extra 10 mil or whatever. But he's here now. Whoop de doo, right?
On loan, eh?
Yeah,
And still
on
we could have only afford him on loan.
we could only afford him alone. So yeah, another good point. And then to think that this club can't catch a break from the Mason Greenwood situation to Anthony to Harry Maguire being abused online to Jadon Sancho. The club just can't catch a break. I mean, with today's
You could even add the hair to that too. That whole fiasco with the hair as well, eh?
yeah. So, like I said, this wasn't the follow up to last season that we were expecting, right? Now, fast forward to the beginning of the season, right? Let's be real. There are teams out there that are not afraid of Manchester United anymore. If anybody didn't realize that, well, then you got to open your eyes. There are teams that are not better than us, that are hungrier than us, and not afraid of us anymore, right? This situation is kind of giving me a bit of Ole vibes where you have a bunch of players that won't listen to the manager, right? Now, a lot of people were kind of split with regards to was Ole the problem or were the players the problem, right? I'm going to say this right now that most of the fan base is on Ten Hag's side because we can see that some of the players are the problem, right? Today's performance, I don't want to say I don't know, right? Because I just had this negative feeling after the Arsenal game because we saw how Brighton were slapping up teams left, right, and center, right? And many people were telling me, "Well, we have a great home record, so it's possible we can beat Brighton." I'm like, "Yeah, but at the end of the day, our form isn't that great. We have injuries to this team. Brighton, on the other hand, are playing like a well-oiled team, right?
That
I
made
told,
6 changes today from the last game. 6 changes from the last
but
game.
those
Just to put that in there.
those six changes could even be recognized because they're missing Evan Ferguson, they're missing Estupinian, they're missing Sully March, and they're missing about 3 or 4 other players, right?
Yeah.
But if I told many people today, including Reem, today Brighton played 10 high ball.
Yeah,
Or the ball Ten Hag would like to play.
that's what
The
we
ball
would like
Ten
to
Hag,
play. I was telling
that,
somebody
or as fans, what we would like to see as fans. But if you look at our style of play from the beginning of the season, we haven't been playing any football.
I challenge any of you guys on the panel and in the comments to tell me any time that a Brighton player was under pressure today from minute 1 to minute 90. I
No.
challenge you guys to tell me
was easy.
when a Brighton player was under pressure. Tell
You know
me.
how that, you
We
know how
started
that
strong.
game,
No, we started strong, to be honest. To me, we started strong and we had them under a bit of pressure in the first 15 minutes.
that game looked like the game we played against them last.
But maybe that was the plan.
Another question. Tell me a time when
Sustain
Brighton's
that
goalkeeper.
bit of pressure and then
Tell me a time in the game that played earlier today where Brighton's goalkeeper had to beat the ball long. Tell me when.
that is their game. That is not their game at all.
So I mean,
right?
you
The
got
Brighton coach said that's our DNA. He's like, that's what we do.
No,
That
but
is-
all the Brighton coach will come to
Yeah.
United and it's the same. You will see the same thing, because it's the same thing about Graham Potter, and then Graham Potter went to Chelsea, and he didn't last there neither. So,
Yeah.
I already told people that De Zerbi will be the next Manchester City coach when Pep Guardiola leaves. Mark it here right now. Pep Guardiola is scheduled to leave Manchester City in 2025. Bet that De Zerbi will be the next Manchester City coach. Mark my
right.
words.
So, yes, I have a few comments here. So we touch on the comments and then we'll get into it again, right? So, hey, Javed, good night, fellas. Well, as good as it could be, right? I think God grant me the serenity. Hey, no, yeah. That's something I cannot change, right? Right? Wakanda forever on the inside, right? Wakanda, I thought Ten Hag doesn't have favorites. I guess we could get into that. I guess we could get into that as well, right? So, starting back with Simeon, in terms of first, I wanna ask a question before we get into the lineup and stuff, right? Was anybody today, and even in the comments who listening, was confident that we'd have gotten a result today, or we went into the game very, in a very pessimistic way and hoping for the best?
Hoping for the best. I mean,
hoping for the best, but expecting the worst.
I mean, how much magic? I mean, how much magic you gonna have? I mean, how much magic you gonna have? You have Rashford, who, we want to do magic, but at the same time, we want to pass the ball at the same time. And you see that issue affect our team for how long? You want Rashford to score the goals, but you want him to pass to. I mean, and we hope he has the common sense to know when to do which one. I mean, Rashford played hard today. I went back. I tried to criticize the man. The man played some stupid, some dumb, passes. Sometimes he didn't pass. Sometimes he shoot. But the man played hard. He played the whole 90 minutes, which I don't understand why, since we have Bayern, and he was dead after 78. But whatever, the man played hard. That's what you get from Rashford. Obviously, no one is coaching him because the man played the same way and he ain't getting pulled. So that's Rashford. As far as what, I mean, I don't understand is how we ain't get better at, I know we would lose, but how we go lose the same way all the time? How we go give us the same 3 goals? How our midfielders can track back and see guys coming around the corner and scoring? I mean, I just don't understand how we ain't improving or we ain't getting more aware. I know it's the same players, but gosh, how haven't we not fixed that yet? I mean, I know it will happen, but I don't think it'll be the way that we. I thought these issues would be better, for some reason. I don't know.
Better issues.
And Casemiro, gosh,
Mm.
Casemiro, he look. Oh gosh, Casemiro.
You know, it look like you need a new engine or kind of thing. That man just.
Yeah. Lion.
Mhm.
Yeah. Lion, are you going to get him to the lineup?
Well, honestly, when I saw the lineup, I find it was a decent lineup, right? I say, okay, we could get some work in the middle, because Scott does run, right? Scott does
Alone,
run.
Alone.
Yeah, but he does run. He will try to break up the plays, everything.
Try.
Lion, let me stop. Let me,
No,
Lion,
Lion,
boy.
understand what I'm saying now.
Let me sit up. Let me sit up in my chair, boy, Lion. No, Lion.
No, let me finish saying what I'm saying. Come on.
Right.
Come on. Scott performances for country, I expected a better performance from him. But today, he was lazy. He didn't do anything there today, right? I expected a little more from him today. I don't expect a world-class performance because it's Scott McTominay. But I expected much better. I say, okay, he would compliment Casemiro. Casemiro wouldn't have so much work to do. But then Bruno on the right.
Which he wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't, because the right was actually Dalo alone.
And Scott coming out of his position in midfield. So that already is the tactics messed up already, but continue.
Right. So I think Ten Hag had a plan to go in with that lineup, but the players didn't fulfill what he wanted to do. Right? To me, the only player who surprised me today was Reguilon. I think he played a good game.
Yeah, you're solid.
But other than that, well, Hoyland tried, but he wasn't getting the ball. Right? I don't have a problem with the lineup, but I just think the players didn't fulfill what I expected. All right.
Phil, as you had something on your mind, go with it one time.
Let me ask you a question, Lion. Who do you think has a higher football IQ, you or Scott McTominay? And be honest.
I think me.
Perfect. Good. That's all I need to know. And Lion is telling the truth. There's no jokes in this here. Lion has a higher IQ than Scott McTominay. I do, Nico does, Simeon does, and JP does. We all have a higher IQ than Scott McTominay, right? Lion, what I saw today was Scott McTominay not helping out Casemiro.
Yes.
He was not helping out Casemiro. Scott McTominay will put on a superhero cape for Scotland, but then when it comes to Manchester United, cape is back off.
Because you know what I think happened too?
Mm-hmm.
Ten Hag didn't trust him and was trying to sell him. So Scott was just like, whatever. Right?
Play for Manchester United is whatever way. Wow.
No, but that's how I felt, right?
That's
you don't trust me.
Because you kind of see how the levels have dropped in this team and in the mentality of the players and the attitude of the players as well too. Because if we on the panel can see with our own two eyes that is whatever playing for Manchester United, then this club has fallen from grace. It has, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if I go back to the lineup, if you put Bruno on the right, you are taking away our creativity from the middle, right? I would have placed Palestri on the right, have Marcus Rashford on the left. Wait, JP disagreeing or agreeing?
No, I agree.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Palestri on the right, Marcus Rashford on the left, and Hoyland up top, right? That is what I would have done. Keep Bruno in the 10 and play Casemiro and Eriksen in the deep line positions, right? Boy, I don't know, boy. For some reason, when I saw Bruno on the right, I wasn't fully gonna give up as yet. But when I saw Bruno within the first 15 minutes on the left and leaving the left side of Brighton free, then I was getting kind of worried, right?
With Matoma.
Yeah, with Matoma, but I can't think of any time Matoma threatened us today.
Yeah.
But
Although
that's still not the
Just had
point.
one run.
That's
One run in the
still not the
second.
point. The fact that Matoma didn't threaten us today and we still lost 3-1 says a lot about this team, right?
Yeah.
And there's something Reem said to me that I was saying for quite a while, and it may sound a bit controversial. I don't know what you guys think. I don't know what people in the comments will think, but I think this team will not reach new heights if we are having Bruno and Rashford in this team.
All right. So I have
That's
some
why.
comments before I go to GP. Right. Wakanda saying Rashford has no ball IQ. I want this guy gone 2 years ago. Wow, Wakanda, it's in our nerves tonight. I expected us to win had Ten Hag started the right players. What does Palestri has to do to get to start on this team? I think that is definitely what Phil was saying. I mean, JP alluding to JP.
Yeah, before the game about a few days ago, Reem and I was talking about when this whole situation with Anthony and Sancho was taking place, and we were talking about possible lineup for this game. And I tell them I want to see Palestri starting, but I know Ten Hag will start Bruno. And my major problem with starting Bruno is that right side is going to be left vacant. And I thought it would be Wan-Bissaka would have been having to play that whole right side for himself. And that is exactly what happened today. And 2 of the goals came from crosses from Lamptey. Lamptey got an early yellow card in the game. I had nobody running on that right side for us to put Lamptey under pressure. A right-footed player playing on the left side of Brighton defense.
Exactly.
Nobody was putting pressure on Lamptey because they didn't have nobody playing the right wing. And Ten Hag didn't see this. And you see people saying we start off the game good, but the Zerbi changed his tactics in the game to suit how we were playing, and that is how he outplayed us. And that is what Ten Hag didn't react to the Zerbi's reaction. And that is where I put blame on Ten Hag today. McTominay is a coon. McTominay is not a good player, and McTominay should not be playing for Manchester United. This is another example of how terribly this club is being run. Because you still have shitty players like Scott McTominay who could pull on a Manchester United base. You still have Harry Maguire who you couldn't get rid of, who could still come on and play for Manchester United. We had Phil Jones on a contract for how long? Lingard, when he didn't receive a contract extension, got one. The club is not being run as a football club. So this is where the problems continuing to carry on with this team. So Ten Hag working with what he have, but sometimes he not using it to the best.
You could even add Johnny Evans to that as well. To me, Johnny Evans had no reason to be back at this club.
No, where's that? Where's that? That is what we like. That is thing in the sea with fellas when they're going back and play with Luton when they start the career.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you know, them kind of thing. Now Manchester United to bring back Johnny Evans to what the game has to. So to me, I think he got it wrong with the lineup today. I was a little surprised with Dalot over Wan-Bissaka, but Dalot had a good game. Regulon had a good game. A player who I'm a little concerned about is Martinez as well, because I don't think we're seeing the same player prior to his injury. He hasn't come back to the player that he was before yet. Bruno is not to be playing on the right-hand side. It's the same thing we will do with Rashford. Players have the position. And an interesting point that Rim brought to me is, you know, Manchester United fans like to talk about versatility in players. When you look at other clubs, they're not doing the players that. He's a left winger, you're a left winger. Salah do be asked to play on the right or through the middle or
I
anything
will
like
call.
that.
I will say Manchester City does it with Nathan Ake and John Stones. John Stones was playing defensive mid, but
Right.
I kind of agree with you with regards to this whole versatility thing. You want a guy,
Right.
you want a right winger for a right winger position. You want a striker for a striker position.
Yes.
So yeah,
Maybe we
That's
just
what they
don't
play.
have
Should be
players who could do that. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
and I agree with Lion because somebody
And
even the
they
inverted
be
wingers
coached
does
into
well.
it.
Somebody inverted
And
wingers
the thing is,
they do well.
I think the difference is with that is they being coached into it. Our players just being asked to play the role because there's like they have a free spot here. I trust Bruno more than I trust Facundo, so Bruno had to start there today. He not being coached into it. I had a question as Simeon say who coaching Rashford because Rashford can't have 10 chances in the box and 9 times you're shooting and 1 time you're passing. That not making sense. Nobody
And shooting at
had to
people in
tell
front
Rashford on the
of
day make the pass. The one pass you make, which was out, let her go. And after that,
but you must give him credit for the pass he made that Hoyland missed. That was early in the game.
right,
That was
that
a
one
pass
as
from-
well.
Yes.
Yeah, that one as well. He
No, I
starts
mean,
off good with that.
if you watch
But
this
he
game,
need to pass more.
if you watch
He need
this
to pass
game,
more.
this is not Rashford's most greediest game. Like he made 3 good passes into the box. This is not Rashford at his greediest. He's been greedier.
True.
It's just more glaring. It's just more glaring today. I mean, it's just more glaring today. Like we act
why,
like
Simeon? You know why, Simeon? Because we have a striker who actually getting in the box and making himself available. Not like Anthony Martial, who came on and did absolutely nothing in the time that he was on.
You said it hit
He's
nerve
an
here.
ex-player.
I good thing him not here.
but let me ask a question again.
I'm not telling that therapy.
Tonight is just pure questions. That's what therapy is about, JP. You're sitting over a notepad and you ask questions. How is your day going? How do you feel? Right? There's therapy. How would you feel if you as a striker or a right winger keep on making runs from the halfway line into the opposition box just for the ball to go out for a goal kick from Marcus Rashford? Yeah. You see Bruno split. You see a pass from Bruno to Rashford, and you are sprinting from the halfway line to the opposition box, and all you're doing is sprinting. You could as well be in the Olympics.
You're doing shuttles,
yeah.
Or you're doing suicides as well too.
That is my thing is that is Rashford. That has been Rashford. All he didn't put call him. All he didn't stop him. Ragnick. I think Ragnick bench him, but nobody in stop the man yet. Like nobody in tell the man, hey, use your brain. That's my biggest issue with Ten Hag. I don't see any development I don't see any change with Rashford as far as because when he plays with England, you more see a pass come in when he plays with England because the coach Southgate, as bad as he is, probably tell Rashford you have to pass the ball. With Rashford on this team, I don't think he has any obligation I don't think anybody telling him, hey, look up, see if there's a better option. You can shoot. You could score.
With England,
maybe the instruction is to score. Maybe the instruction is to shoot.
With England as well, if Rashford does shit, you got the likes of Jack Grealish and Phil Foden to bring on. With Manchester United, you got another selfish Garnacho to bring on. Right? So
maybe the instruction is to shoot. Last season, Rashford had 30 goals. Right? Ten Hag know he has goals in him. Rashford again that position.
The reason we brought in a striker was to take that load off of Rashford. Here are the goals.
You can't expect him to do that every season.
This whole striker thing. We spent how much money spent on Rasmus?
70
million. Yeah.
We spent that money on an injured, young, talented player. He's gonna be good. He was injured. And his backup is who? Martial, who looks worse than he did last year when he played for a bit. He looks worse. How? Even Ten Hag said he man still not fit. How? I mean, if Rasmus was injured and now getting into his form, and Martial ain't fit. How you gonna enter a season with those two strikers? How? How as a title as Manchester United you enter a season with those two as the only strikers? How? That make it make sense.
Right.
Who's
So
CE?
yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if it's Cassie. I don't know who is this CE. I've
Christian
been together
Eriksen,
for
Christian
a
Eriksen,
while.
Christian Eriksen, yeah.
Oh, okay, right. Christian Eriksen playing so many minutes this season
Eriksen.
already. Yeah, I never expected him to get to even 30 minutes at this point. Oh, we expect our midfield to be effective, and that extra work on Cassie et al. Will just hamper us later on. And I agree that we knew where we had to strengthen. We knew that the midfield was a problem, and I think Ten Hag, which to me he should take some blame for, because I don't know for some reason he has this or he wanted this Mount player for whatever reason, obsessed in terms of wanting Mount because of what he did in the past, maybe on loan wherever you would have saw him. But that Mount is not the Mount. No. And I think that is where he made a big mistake, because the money he spent on Mount, we could have got at least two midfielders. We could have gotten at least two midfielders. And to me, Mount is only, for me, is a replacement for Bruno.
I got another question. Who we got up there next?
Wait, in the Premier League or in games? That's coming up. That's coming. But for me, if we're talking about lineups, I really was hoping that Pelestri would have started today on the right and play Bruno, in his more favored position, because we know that when Bruno playing out wide, or even giving Dalot that work to do, because Dalot was chosen because he could have been able to use the wing to cross, because we know he had a little better on the ball, right? But to me, I would have liked to see Pelestri started today. I have a comment from Reem here. You watch all Brighton goals. Which one was a moment of individual brilliance? We need must go, God damn it. Right? We need to stop this hero ball football. Yeah. Right. So I don't know if you all have anything to talk about in terms of Rashford. If you want to talk about, I think we beat Rashford to almost to a Paul parody. I think Rashford in himself is taking a lot of responsibility. I think because the pressure for Manchester United, we know how that is. We know how that weight could be. And I think Rashford, if it's by default or if it's by instruction, which we doubt, taking on that responsibility to pull the team over the line. Maybe last season still on his mind, but we have to, or he has to, or Ten Hag has to, as Simeon saying, coach it into him that, hey, you don't have to be the hero here. You have a team around you. You have Rasmus, who's making runs and we saw it today, Rasmus did some very good runs. So, you have a player now who there to support you, and you need to use him more, because as who it was, that shuttles a player running from wherever running and boom is for a goal kick. That's not cool. That's not cool. It's not cool.
And see 5 players in the front here and still try to shoot. You have to be smarter than that. You have a player right in front here in your direct side, but you're trying to blast the ball. You know how much of that you do today?
Yeah. So today, guys, something happened, right? That was when? On the 68th minute, somewhere around there. Ten Hag would have taken off Rasmus Højlund today, right? And I guess in your response, you could factor in Rasmus Debo as well, right? And there was a heavy boo from the crowd, right? So I can go first. For me, that boo was more or less a disappointment that Rasmus had to come off, other than booing of Ten Hag, right? But that is yeah, I know maybe a thin line, But that's how I seen that. JP, what's your thoughts?
No, I think Ten Hag get boot. I think Ten Hag get boot because I think we were getting something from Hoyland in the game. And I know we have to manage him now coming back from injury and all that, but remember fans, you're seeing your team down, the player who looking like they're giving you something because apart from how the positions he was picking up, his hold up play deeper on the pitch and then bringing other players into it and then you see them boosting forward. He was actually seeing something from the player. So I think the fans were upset with Ten Hag for the decision that he made to take off Hoyland because honestly, I think most of us tired of Andy Marcel and you're taking off a player who was giving us something to bring on a player who has given us nothing really of count in recent past.
Yeah, I kind of agree with JP because like Reem, I know you in the comments, but I think most Manchester United fans are fed up with Anthony Martial. I think so, right? I used to be a fan of Martial way back in the day, but he has kind of drained me. And with regards to the booing, it's funny because Fabrizio Romano posted what Ten Hag thought about the booing of Rasmus Højlund. And Ten Hag said it was positive. Reception was great. He performed very well. And it was good that they gave this signal. We'll give him belief. He just was not ready for an entire game. But like if you're playing well in the game, right? Why take him off? I didn't see any signs of any injury. No players made any crunching tackles on like his body to like signal like he had to be taken off because of injury, like I just said. So I'm quite curious as to why Højlund was taken off though. Ten Hag is saying that he wasn't ready for a full game, but the only way you will know somebody's ready for a full game is if they play a full game.
Yeah, but
I don't. It's so scientific now. I feel it's so scientific now that for the longevity of Rasmus, maybe was the right decision, but definitely we won't see that or we won't know that. But I mean, if it's maybe because he's not ready, then we have to respect that decision that the boss would have made. That he has seen the bigger picture in comparison to just one game now. Right, so let me get some comments here before we Phil, you want to continue before I get into these comments?
No, I get where you're coming from. You kind of got to respect the decision, but that doesn't mean that you still can't question it, right?
Yeah, for sure, no doubt. Right, so Reem saying, I think we started well with the 4-4-2 diamond. We were in control, winning back the ball. Højlund was pressing. Everybody looked up for it in the first 30 minutes. So long now, it wasn't 30 minutes. I taken about 15 to 20.
Yeah, 20 minutes half because what minute Brighton scoring?
Brighton
scored 30 yet? Or earlier, about 20.
Brighton scored in the 20th minute. Yeah, what 30 minutes will read? Nah, we were up for the first 10 to 15 minutes, and then we shut down like a side man.
Yeah, Reem saying fans booed the decision, not necessarily Ten Hag, which was my point. But I think the manager has to protect the team. Fans won't understand and tend to think in the moment. Yeah. We are Christian. That was a Ten Hag disaster. Still don't know what Pelestri had to do to start. Coach rather play men out of position than play him. Still don't know how Eriksen and Rashford remain on the pitch. I don't know if you have a choice with that. Imagine we need a goal and he took off Højlund. Bruno end up the game right centre back. Yeah. Again, that shows the lack of confidence in the defenders on the bench, defenders on the bench, right? So I don't know. Lion have anything on the Højlund booing performance, that type of thing?
I just think what it was the decision to take him off. I don't think it's necessarily Ten Hag. I think the crowd wanted to see more of him, but I agree with him coming off because he only played 10 minutes against Arsenal. The international break, he didn't really play much, right? So he not fit because he came off an injury recently. So you have time. He's young. He has time in him.
I mean, a back injury he had?
Yeah, he had a
Yeah.
back like a stress fracture. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are a few things, right, guys? So we played 5 games so far this season. We lost 3, right? So the 3 was Spurs, Arsenal, Brighton, right? The 2 we won was against Wolves and Forest. And if we be honest, the Wolves game we hang on, right? Again,
Forest game too.
the Forest game we came back, right, from 2-0 down and ended up winning the game. And another day, that would have been lights out. So potentially we could have started the game this season 0-5, right? So even at this point, and even with the whole Sancho fiasco, is, as JP was saying, is Manchester United burning down, right? Or is it that Ten Hag could pull it back from where it is and clearly where it is going? JP?
I think for that to happen, the players have to buy into the project properly and do what the manager is asking them to do. Because Brighton is not the greatest team in the world, but Brighton is playing great football because they are doing what the manager is asking them to do. The players on Brighton team is not world beaters. The greatest players. They're not Ballon d'Or nominees and things like that. But they're doing what they should be asking. They're doing the job. Our players not doing their job. And I don't know where the breakdown is in terms of why that's not happening. But we know what Ten Hag wants to do. We know what Ten Hag could do. Because we see it with Ajax, and then we got glimpses of it last season with how the team was actually performing. So we know how our Ten Hag team could play. And we were expecting improvement on that this season, but it hasn't happened as yet. We can't really say it's early days again, because 5 games into a season is enough games to start to judge what kind of season you might have. And if by the next game in the Premier League we don't start to turn it around, then I think we have to prepare for a season of real stress. So the players have to buy into it. Ten Hag have to continue to put on his foot, but on certain players, they need to get our foot put on a little harder for them to pick up the head and raise the game and realize the club that they're playing for. If you're here, you're the play. If you're not playing like you want to be here, then win your reserves. Let them man come on. Hannibal came on today and he took his chance. So there's the kind of players that we need to see coming and you get a chance, take a chance, and I would like to see more of Hannibal because of that, because of what he did today. So I think that's what we have to see for it to turn around. If the players don't buy into it, then yeah, it's fire.
I can state the obvious, right? It's easy to turn on the manager because there are only 2 transfer windows a year. Or let me be more specific. There are only 2 exit/entry windows a year for a player. An exit/entry window for a manager is every day.
Yeah.
A manager can be fired tomorrow. A manager can be hired yesterday. But players can only leave and go in the summer and in the winter. So it's very easy to turn on a manager, right? But I kind of agree with what JP said. Brighton have no world beaters. Brighton have no nominees for Ballon d'Or or FIFA 11 Pro of the Year. They don't. But they have bought into a philosophy that De Zerbi have drilled into them. How long has De Zerbi been at Brighton for? A season, maybe?
Yeah, maybe
That's
it's so much. It's so much. Yeah, one season. Yeah, one season after Potter would have left.
A few games. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Well, how much money? Let's not focus on how much money Brighton have made over the years from player sales, but how much money have Brighton spent on players? Was their record transfer
minimal.
right? How can Brighton walk into our backyard and play like that today? Who was the home team today? Not was it us?
It didn't look so.
No,
At the end of the day, I've always stressed that you go by the first 5 to 10 games, right? And right now, it's not looking good for Manchester United. We kind of predicted. We always do predictions at the start of each season, how we'd finish. Don't be surprised if we finish with no Europe next season, but based on how we are operating right now. Should
Yeah.
Ten Hag pull a miracle out of his ass and have us finish in the top 4? Lord. That's all I want to say, Lord. But anyway,
Yeah.
three losses out of 5 is not a great look for a club called Manchester United.
Yeah. And let me get this comment before I go to Lion, right? Wakanda said, I'm getting close to Eric Ten Hag out. Wow, I feel it too early. A little brutal, boy. A little brutal. This man sold me a dream of disciplined possession ball playing and no favoritism. Fire. You right, Lion?
Everybody talking that talk, but ask them who they want to bring in.
They
Then
can.
know what to say.
Exactly.
But then when they bring in the next man, is the same thing that going to
Same
happen.
thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think players need to come back. We need to get Amrabat fit. We need more options. Sancho could have just hold himself down and say, okay, I'm gonna hush my mouth and put in the work.
At least prove him wrong. They want to hush him out and prove him wrong.
And all that nonsense Rashford playing. Sancho could have get a chance on the left or the right because I know Anthony. Rashford would have some pressure, but a lot of these players too entitled. And you just look at Rashford on the left. Okay, I scored 30 goals last season. I feeding children. Nobody can touch me. You had a watching the movement. A man into my tackle, complain, get up and you walk off with your head high. You're playing for Manchester United. You have to sweat blood for this club, right? You can't be soft, right? And a lot of players too entitled. Fellas know they can't get dropped just so, right? So they're like, whatever. You have to know that you're playing for the badge. And I think a lot of players still don't have that mentality. They're like, okay, the manager could go, and next manager will come, and I'll be right here. Right? Sometimes I wish this window had 2 more months.
Yeah.
To get rid of some of them players because it's our players that's still not for this club. Right? But then again, you get rid of them. We can't get rid of them because we don't sell good. And we don't have
long contract.
Right, and we don't have money to buy. So at the end of the day, it comes down to the whole toxic background and then the whole recycling again. But I think once Amrabat come in, I think we'll be a little more sure in the middle. All right? I think we'll do a little better, but it's left to be seen game by game. Because I might get my hopes up. Yeah, but Amrabat come in. And then we get slapped up again. So I take it one day at a time with this club, just like last season. I take it one day at a time. I don't want any disappointment. If you get on the day, like, okay, well, I don't really expect that, but
I think
What
on
this club did to
on a
me.
couple of podcasts, I said I would start Manu over Casemiro when fit, and I mean some of the guys look at me strange, a month ago, but you're kind of seeing why right now though. So
I think
stay.
two of them might fit well. Yeah, I think two of them might fit well. Remember a comment here. He's saying, I still want to see Eric Ten Hag with his full team available. We had to admit he's had it far from ideal at United. He had to take responsibility, but we acting like the man perfect. We do make mistakes. Yes, we do. And definitely, I will give him time. I know definitely he doesn't have his ideal team. Plus, he's fighting fires on top of fires. Outside of that, so I think, and I really hoping that Amrabat is not a the player we had from Austria. What's his name again? They said I forget the player name already. Somebody enlighten me. Woo,
From where?
You're
Austria.
talking about oh gosh.
I said I forget the man name already.
From Austria?
Go on Dortmund now. He has a Bayern.
Oh, you mean Sabitzer?
Exactly. You know, I really hope that Amrabat is not in a Sabitzer mold, right? I know that was one of Phil players, but I always had my question marks over Sabitzer, so I really hope that Amrabat have a bit more about him.
I'm going to say this. I think Amrabat could play that role better than Casemiro.
Yeah.
Well, I hope
Hopefully.
so.
Huh?
He have more legs.
Yeah, more legs.
So this back to my original comment that I made about a minute ago. If we had to start Amrabat and Kobe Manu if fully fit, I would still put Amrabat as the box-to-box midfielder, but I would put Kobe Manu as the deep line in front of the back four player.
But I just saying earlier, let me don't get we hopes up too high as yet. Let me see Amrabat play, and then you can make our pronouncement.
Nico, it can't get no worse. Nico, it can't get no worse.
No, it can.
Nah, it can't get no worse.
It can.
I see on Twitter people calling back for Ole. Like, why? What going on?
We have some comments, right? So let me get to the comments, and I'm going to see me in here, right?
Simeon quarrel of it. Ole.
What's the obsession with playing Bruno White, fellas? Is Rashford undroppable?
Yes.
Yes. Right. So the answer to
we have nobody to play on that left.
Right. We are Garnacho, but the chances Garnacho get at the beginning of the season.
Let me add on to Lion's comment. We have nobody to play on the left with the proper IQ.
Yeah.
Garnacho, but this was a little more time. A little more development from Garnacho. I think he could do well.
Let me make one point.
Still need developing.
I wonder if Sancho have issues with the way Rashford playing and Rashford Anthony playing. I wonder if that is the reason why it was all this drama. I don't know, but I'm not saying like
Sancho all the clubs he does.
Sancho plays. Sancho is not the coach.
Yeah, exactly. You see Sancho and them fellas is so much because, to be honest, Sancho did well in some of the preseason games he played where he played the false nine, right? Yeah. And social media did hype it up. When you go on social media, it had the hype where Sancho did excellent in that false nine role, and now the season starts and you're not getting the opportunity. And I think that's a lot of his emotions coming from.
I think it goes further back as well too. It goes further back with regards to you were bought by Manchester United to play on the right, and then all of a sudden your position is now being filled by Anthony. So I was like, okay, I don't have to play on the right anymore. Let me play up top. So you play up top with the false nine position, and now Rasmus Højlund was bought, and now you're telling yourself you may be behind Rasmus Højlund, but now you're behind Anthony Martial. So
yeah. I guess all that. Yes, thank you, Lion. Right. Guys, so let me get you the comments. Right. Good night, everyone. Blessings and love still all here. Hey, son. Good night, man. Right. Room saying if Pep wasn't backed by City, you would have see how all his mistakes, bad guys, would have get showed up. But his owners were swift to back him. Eric Ten Hag not afforded that and get it judged for every single
It's
thing.
true.
Yeah,
I
agreed.
should have had that luxury.
Anyway, let's talk about Calvin Phillips. Let's talk about Calvin Phillips. That's a
Exactly.
Well,
And he's still getting picked for England, eh? And he's still getting picked for England,
season.
Something
Something
wrong with Southgate.
Tell them off the next season.
Exactly. Some of them the same season.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't saying plenty moving parts, gentlemen. Unfortunately, it's a long road ahead. It is what it is. One game at a time. Yeah. But the thing is about it, you never know where you get in. You know, at least we say, well, you know, we playing who? Luton Town. You know, let's say we play Luton Town and we show that 3 points. We can't even say that. Right? We can't even say that. Christensen, I see a video on Rashford where he just doing nonsense. Easy passes he could make, and he choose a dribble or shoot, and men wide open. The video is more than 30 minutes too. Oh Lord.
to respond to Christian's bring up Christian's comment again with regards to the Rashford video. You gotta ask Christian which video.
You say it have one video is 30 minutes just on Rashford.
You see a video, Christian, you gotta say which video.
There are plenty of them. Jerome Poster, good night, man. Welcome to All in All United. Eric Ten Hag slip up today, but some of these players slipping up about 5 years now. Yeah? Yeah. So bit yes, Nigel. I forget your name, so you didn't make a you even say sanitizer. Oh my goodness. Hey. Right?
Well, he hit Sabitzer a baller.
Yeah. Let's stop it. Lion, I don't agree. This coach did the wrong thing when nobody in the team playing well. So fast, many star players don't play well in training, but do well on game day. Right? So we're kind of saying that Ten Hag did the wrong thing with Sancho. If I read this comment properly. Right? Look at that comment here. Yeah. Sancho was our best player in preseason and can't get a start. Yeah.
Well, one thing Sancho did do, he did move the ball. That's the one thing he did do. He did move the ball.
I don't find as much as Sancho was okay in preseason, I don't find he liked the wall of fire. I wasn't expecting him to start the season, honestly.
Andreas Pereira was one of the best preseason players in Manchester United.
Exactly, and
before Andreas Pereira, Tom Cleverley was one of our best players in preseason.
Right.
I mean,
the best player in preseason don't mean nothing. We should I think we watching football long enough to know.
But look at Sancho. He ain't he wasn't as good as he could be. But look back to last year, how many goals he scored. It was one of our top goal scorers last year, even though he missed all that time for his emotional health. Like Sancho had a skill set that no one on the team really had. He was, he didn't work hard enough, he didn't play hard enough, but he had a skill set. I mean, but I just think he's a different player than what we have, and it'd be good to have him. Do I think he should play? No. I mean, do I think the coach should have say, "Oh gosh, you do this and you should play"? No, he needs to play better. But I don't think we could discount Sancho's value to the team, especially last year.
We gotta sell him, man.
Yeah, but indiscipline is a problem. Indiscipline is a problem. And if discipline is a problem, then
we go sell him. I mean, now you getting sell. I mean,
no manager ain't taking that.
You're not accepting that.
I think the first question is why we wouldn't buy Sancho, because when you're looking at that buy in the first place, who wanted him and where they wanted to play, because if he was bought to play on the right, that's not where we were using him.
Selling shirts. I what we studying. Selling shirts.
Exactly. You're right.
I'll sell some shirts.
Yeah, let me get you this comment here. We need an overall of our recruitment. Yeah, I think maybe the whole scouting network, everything. And right now we're only buying players Eric Ten Hag no. Yeah, and again that's always my point. And I get fight down when I say players don't necessarily want to come to Manchester United. They don't. Yeah, because when they look at the infrastructure and the progress and the plan for other teams, they rather go elsewhere.
Sending home
Yeah.
everybody. The Glazers are sending home the old lady who have all our years of service are sending home everybody. I'm fed up by
Hey, oh man. Where's the scouting? Brighton, Hove, Albion, and lesser teams ahead of us in every department except name brand, right? It will take years to fix this club. But a man tell me that in the release after Fergie gone, and I say, but you're mad, you're Manchester United, you're gonna bounce back quick. I'm still waiting. Yeah, he's saying Marcus' decision making has been terrible. Right?
Marcus.
I'm Robert Kirby worse than McTominay, Nico, and I 100% agree. I don't think anybody could be worse than
No.
somebody.
Wait. Or you see that goal where McTominay point the man say, hey, somebody get him. That's the man. Like
he's the captain or
McTominay point to that man, say, hey, mark that man. And like the guy you was talking to was already marking somebody. So when he bought, is it Lamptey? Ball guy first Lamptey. And McTominay to chase down Lamptey. You remember that goal?
Yeah.
You see how far? You see how? Nah. I mean, when you can't tell, it's not he's slow. When you can't,
awareness. I don't know. He just well, come on. We lack IQ in a lot of areas. Agreed. Right? Can't disagree. Yeah, because I'm saying it have a video with Ferdinand saying when United drop RVP, Ferguson told all the players if you don't pass RVP, you don't play. We might question why we were playing Sancho as a false sign during preseason, knowing fully well Hoyland and Marshall were the preferred options. Sancho will feel aggrieved, but I don't support his action. Agreed.
Then I'll go trust on us.
Yeah. But earlier what was damning is when one of the journalists asked everything, how come Brighton, Hove, Albion spend less than United but so much better? Yeah. Eric Ten Hag couldn't answer. He fumbled to give a decent answer. Embarrassed.
That was bad.
That's one thing. That's recruitment.
Okay.
They have way better recruitment than us.
No, actually, Ten Hag doing his own recruitment because right. Ten Hag only recruiting players we know.
We don't have staff to do it. The staff not doing it.
Yeah, Ole wanted Sancho bad by scouting again, right? Again, the coach who do all the work. Premier League needs pace, strength, and fight. We buy soft, weak, slow players who have close control and no heart. Yeah, it's our Martial labor.
Wow. You guys. I don't know if you guys realize, but you guys know we got Bayern Munich now, right?
Yes. So that was the next point, right? That was the next point. That the last point before we lock up, right? So we have Bayern Munich coming on Wednesday away, right? Bayern away. And it could get damning for us, you know. So what's the thoughts? What's the thoughts on that game starting with Simeon?
It could get damning.
I'll be short. If Casemiro look like that and play.
I heard. I just saw something that that Bayern coach was sacked. Is that true?
No.
Okay, good. Because I saw that today, and I didn't follow up on it, but I know there's so much fake news going around.
But I'm gonna come around.
Not come. We going for them to run me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Lion. Simeon, you finished?
I'm done. It's trash right now. I mean, so we have no hope if we can't have some kind of defense or midfield presence. So
next,
we playing. Who's that?
Bayern Munich
lineup? Who's that starting lineup
for Bayern Munich?
No, for us.
Oh, for us.
Playing on the right. We play.
Well, Hoyland plays 60 minutes, so I guess we could guess.
One Basaka again for sure.
Yeah, so we could assume that Hoyland would start. We could assume that Basaka would start.
Martinez not looking up to speed.
Nah, but we can't know what he else. Is that Johnny Abonzo or Maguire?
Hey, we suffering Earl, but just anyways, I go fund me and see if you can see Santa back somewhere.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the Aubrey David instead of Maguire. That's God.
Jip,
I think if we had approached Bayern in a way that we stick together in a defensive style and hope to hit them on the break, but that mightn't work. That mightn't work with Bayern coming through. If Amrabat was fit, I think we'd have a better chance in the middle to do something. But gosh, my Ericsson, them legs. I worried about that game. But
Bayern got pure runners. All Bayern got runners. Bayern got Alfonso Davis.
Gosh,
they got Serge Gnabry.
Jamal
Musiala.
Musiala fit, right?
Harry Kane. They got
Harry Kane. Harry Kane.
They got Joshua Kimmich, who it was Leon Goretzka we were linked with. They got Kim Meja in defense, who we thought was going to come to Manchester United, but that flopped. And then put the cherry on top of the cake. They got the EPL's highest goal scorer of the last 5 seasons at their team.
He does get to qualify game.
Before
a game, we call it emergency or something.
Boy,
yes, everybody get COVID. Everybody get COVID.
Nah, the only way we beat him Bayern in Champions League is with this here, boy. This is the only way we beat him Bayern, boy. I'm sorry.
JP, anything?
I go in the game with no expectations. That's the way I approach it. I think we Casemiro getting criticized, but I feel Casemiro never had a proper partner next to him. Ericsson started off good, but then he still don't
legs
have
again. Yeah.
To get the start. So I think that's the problem now we face in the midfield because Casemiro bringing a certain quality, but he can't do it all on his own. And it's a shame Amrabat not fit. So I think the question is who's partnering him, and at this point in time, the answer is only Ericsson.
Should play Bruno.
I don't know. Maybe if Bruno, I was thinking that if Bruno had tried there and if Bruno could have a disciplined game next to Casemiro, stay back a little bit because we're going to need numbers in the midfield in that game.
Back five, man.
I think we had a far draw.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I know it's looking like doom and gloom. I think Ten Hag maybe have it figured out. We hope, for the Champions League. So I still back in Ten Hag. I still think that he has a plan. I do think he has the players to execute his plan. And I think our major problem is our midfield. And again, we saw it today where the moment Brighton made one play, they cut through our entire midfield, with one play. And with that one play, most of the time, it's almost a shot on goal, with that one play. Because even for the last, or maybe the 3 chances they would have gotten, they would have scored today. So to me, I think that is what to improve. I think if our midfield could improve, I think we would have a better team all around. I think Kobe Mainoo missing, maybe Amrabat coming in, hopefully could make a difference in that midfield. I don't know if Mount, hopefully when he come back, he could find his way as well and could help
the right side.
and could help the midfield because for me, that midfield is a problem, and until we figure that out, any team with a better midfield, which maybe most teams, right, will beat us, so we hope that the teams coming in better. The players coming in could improve our midfield, right? So let me get to the comments and then we would lock off, call it a night, right? Right. I just saying, well, I'm saying there we do have staff to do it, but stop man. Okay, right? He right though. We have no scouts or director of football, just Eric Ten Hag picking who he wants, and Murto et al. All buying with no position or opposition or alternatives. Right? Martinez space jammed. Feel he afraid to get injured again. Maybe playing injured as well. Right? You were saying in the game plan today was good. Was good, but again, I think, and I agree, we started okay. Lacking concentration defensively and crap decision in attack killing us. If we could improve that, I think we could get a result versus Bayern. Right? Men had to stop reverting to type and doing their own thing and stick to the blasted plan. Right? Jerome saying Bruno can't play deep. We will get cut open. He have to play Amrabat. Is a good player. I saw Bruno play deep before, and I find he did well.
Deep a few times.
Yeah, and I did well. Fred missing too. All our jokes, yes.
Bring back Fred.
We were saying also, I don't know if all you spoke about it, but Regular Davy was pleasing. Yes, we touched on it. We touched on it, and we agreed that Regular was okay. Right. Right. Jokes again here. Right, we have to buy back Fred. If you can't rule it out, we can buy back Evans, right? So you can't rule it out. So again, guys, I don't know if anybody have any final comments. Anybody have any final comments? All right. So again, if no final comments, another healthy therapy session. We was hoping we not to have so much, and not so early in the season. We could have spread out this during the season, and we'd accept it. But the therapy sessions week after week after week, oh God, come on, man. So let me hope for the best. I guess for the next 3 or 4 games. I'm not expecting it to turn around for the Bayern game. But after that, I hope we can really want to run and get the spirits going, because United fan base right now is real low, and and there's all kind of groups again dragging too, and people sending all kind of message trying to raise my pressure, with some of these results and performances as well. So guys, guys, thanks again for the show, and see you in the next one.
Later, man.
All right, good night.
Hey, good night.
Yeah.